Thank you for tuning in to Conversations in the Dark. Today's topic is going to be about releasing pain. What we're going to do in this topic is we're going to discuss ways how you can release pain and what happens to your body when you do not release pain, okay? It could be pain from trauma. It could be pain from your adolescence. It could be pain from a relationship, pain from mental abuse, physical abuse, or whatever it is that you're holding on to pain. So, for starters, I want to let you know anything that you harbor in the mind or in the body automatically affects the gut, right? So you got to think about your gut as your core, your innermost being. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that anything that's affecting the gut affects the whole body. The gut is like the the if they say they got apple cider vinegar with the mother, it's to me it's similar to it in that sense. You want to keep that healthy, because what happens is anything you're harboring, anything that's similar to it, sounds similar to it, looks similar to it, is similar to it, is going to trigger and release these chemicals into your body that's going to keep on putting you back in that same state. And because you're traumatized by it, your mind is always going to constantly keep replaying it like a tape recorder. It's not letting it out because it's a traumatic experience. So what has to happen is you have to realize that a lot of the times the trauma that you're reliving or whatever it is that you're going through, it needs to be addressed early on. It needs to be addressed and it needs to be understood, and you need to understand what is the cause of it, where it's coming from, who is causing it or what is causing it, and how can you fix it. The more you try to not postpone it, the more you try to put it on the back burner or act like it's not there but it's really there, it's only going to affect you more in the long run. Now, please don't mistake this for me saying that this is an easy thing to do, because it's not an easy thing to do, but it is something that you're able to do as a human being by taking steps. Okay. I feel like once you release the pain, once you let it go and understand that you're not supposed to live with pain, you're supposed to live happy and have a really easy going life, then you'll start to understand why it's great for you to release it. A lot of the times your pain comes when you just figure that this is what it's supposed to be, this is the end, this is how that happened, this is who did this to me, and you feel like there's no way of getting back at them. You have to leave redemption to God. Once you realize that redemption needs to be left for God, anything else will everything else after that will go easier, because you'll be able to handle the specific problems that are targeting you, that are targeting you and making you feel a certain way about whatever you're harboring on the inside. For me, pain is never on the outside. The bruises and the cuts, sure, but pain scars you on the inside more than anything. What it does is it bruises your spirit. It bruises your heart, your mind, and it leaves a marker. Okay, so here are my 5 ways for you to release pain. Okay, the first way is always acknowledge that you're in pain. Acknowledge it. You have to sit with yourself, even if you have to buy a mirror and sit in front of that mirror and acknowledge it and just sit there and just cry, cry, cry. Acknowledge you're in pain. Secondly, you have to get something and write down what is causing this pain. What is causing this pain, how it's causing it, who or what situation, what scenario is making you feel this pain. Secondly, if you can, you need to, thirdly, if you can, you need to address it. Address the pain. If it's a person and it's not dangerous, you can address it. Try to talk about it. Try to see. Because usually when one person is causing pain for another, that's because they're in pain. Whether you know it or not, there's generations of families that have passed on pain and trauma from generation to generation. So you really have to address it. And when I say address it, I mean, if you're a woman or a man listening to this right now, whatever is the pain in your current situation, you want to address it, because you do not want that trauma passing on to the next generation. You don't want these same feelings in your children harboring amongst them, because it leaves markers in your DNA for me. Okay. The fourth thing that you want to do, you want to make sure that you keep track of the triggers. So whatever it is that's triggering you, or whatever it is that's making you feel a certain type of way, you want to keep track of that. When did you feel like that? Who? See, the thing, a lot of times we don't realize we feel like our emotions are invalid. Your emotions are not invalid. Your emotions are there for a reason. They're there to make you understand how you're feeling. So you have to acknowledge your emotions. If you're sad, it's okay to say I am sad. If you're tired, it's okay to say I am tired. If you're ecstatic, it's okay to say I am very happy today. If you're feeling beautiful, it's okay to say I'm feeling beautiful. These emotions are there for you to validate them and make them your own, and whatever is the emotion, you understand it and you're living in it in that moment, and then it goes away. The problem is when the emotion of sadness becomes depression. The emotion of feeling ecstatic is always the one that you want, right? Because everybody's always looking for them endorphins to be released. You always want to be happy, so you got to do the things and let go of the things that's not making you happy. And number 5, I just want to say this is the most important thing. When you're releasing pain, start living in the moments of when you are happy. Those moments when things are going good and you're really loving on yourself and everything around you, live in that. Feel it. Let it run through your veins and your heart. Smile big. Show all your teeth. Let the endorphins take over your body for once, and let your body, because once your body get used to feeling that feeling, it's going to chase that feeling. Your body chases whatever feeling that you're giving it. So if you're always a sad person, your body is going to try to push you back to that state because that's where it's comfortable. Your body always, in your mind, and it always wants to keep you in a comfortable space. That's why anytime you do something new, it feels like it's challenging. So always, when you're happy, really try to be happy. Really try to embrace that. And you have to do that constantly so your body can always want that feeling, right? It's almost like when you post a picture on social media and you get 1,000 likes per se, right? Though the amount of endorphins that you get from that is why people constantly doing it, because it puts a high into you. It makes you feel good. So now we want to go away from the technology part of being high and actually doing things and living in a space where we're feeling constantly high from the things we're doing in our everyday lives, like really in the real world, right? So if you like to give back, or you like to, whatever it is you do to constantly keep you happy, if you plant, if you do hair, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're taking care of your children. See, everything doesn't make everybody happy. A lot of people really get happiness from different things. Some people like to serve. Some people like to preach. Some people like to help. Some people like to just do different things. But whatever it is that makes you feel the happiest, not negative or positive, do that, okay? So I hope this message gets out to somebody who needs it. This is about releasing pain. Thank you for tuning in to Conversations in the Dark. If you can go ahead and subscribe to my page, that'd be great. You can also follow us on Instagram at Conversations in the Dark. Thank you, and until next time, live peacefully.